And I suppose we're live now. And I should start recording. There we go. Though then again, it probably automatically records on YouTube. Nevertheless, let's keep going. How do I keep the chat up while I do this? I figured out another time. Actually, I'll probably just put this down. Probably should have figured that earlier. Oh well, that's why I call this a test. For now, I just put it down, I suppose. I'll do it that way for now. Actually, it still goes down. Shall I do? Let me see how it looks this way. Interesting. Now, I shall move on. Now, what was I going to do? Oh, yes, actually finally read this article. And then I go into other stuff. Actually, I might look at the Starfield trailer once again. No, I look at the latest one. Starfield lead designer says the game covers so much new ground. This is something special. Listen to the article? That's the thing? Okay.
Starfield's lead designer says the game covers so much new ground, Tech Radar. Starfield's lead designer and writer, Emile Pagliarulo, has said that the game covers so much new ground for the studio and that players are going to lose their minds. Pagliarulo discussed the development team's progress on Starfield in a recently published blog post on the official Bethesda site. The lead designer suggests that the game is coming along well in the interview, saying that while early on in development, there can be moments where a game is just kind of a mess. Eventually you get to that point where systems really start to come online, and things start to work well, and gel, and you see everything forming into the vision you had when you first started on this crazy journey. The Starfield team has, Pagliarulo reveals, gotten to that point. When that first happened with Starfield, he says, it really was an oh wow. Yeah. This is something really special. Players are going to lose their minds. Pagliarulo adds, it's been so awe-inspiring watching Starfield morph into this amazing game, little by little, and with us.
First thought is, I in no way would have correctly been able to say Pagliarulo. Like, most likely I would have messed that up.
Covering so much new ground. With the game being in full production, Pagliarulo says that most of his time is spent either meeting with the designers to help guide their work, or playtesting the game constantly to gauge our progress and see what might need to be adjusted. This playtesting is key, he says, to experiencing Starfield the way a player would, at every stage of development. According to Pagliarulo, the development team is brutally honest with itself about what is and isn't fun, what does and doesn't work. As for what games to which he looks for inspiration while working on Starfield, Pagliarulo says he plays games from all different genres but cites Thief as a personal all-time favorite.
Thief, huh?
I really love playing games that just make me shake my head, like, wow. I know how they did that, and it is a crazy accomplishment, he says. The newest Spider-Man games have been like that for me. Or Cyberpunk. Man, to make a giant,
Shout out to
open-ended
Cyberpunk,
environment
huh?
like Night City? That is no easy feat, seriously impressive. Starfield's release date is drawing closer, with the game scheduled for November 11th this year. When Starfield releases, it'll be playable on PC and Xbox Series X, with a Day 1 release on Xbox Game Pass. Analysis. Detailing the new ground. As Starfield is Bethesda's first new IP in 25 years, it's not all that
Jesus.
surprising that the development team is trying to push the envelope and cover new ground. As for what this new ground might involve, we can maybe look to Bethesda's recently released Made for Wanderers behind-the-scenes video for some hints. Pagliarulo himself is in the video, alongside game director Todd Howard, lead quest designer Will Shen and lead artist Istvan Pelli. In that discussion, Todd Howard touches on the team's desire to go back to do some things we didn't do, mentioning older hardcore RPGs as part of that, and doing those again in a new way. Even aside from covering totally new ground in Starfield, that behind-the-scenes discussion hints at improving on old ground, with mentions of a persuasion minigame for interacting with characters in the game,
Oh, right, that
which
thing.
takes inspiration from the old Oblivion conversation system. After a long period of quiet, Bethesda has been talking about Starfield a lot more recently, hyping up the game and increasing player anticipation. The next step feels like it ought to be seeing more from the game itself.
Alright.
In an AMA on Reddit, Todd Howard has previously
Stop
highlighted
it there.
summer as a key time to
I
show
don't need to
Starfield,
learn more.
so it could be that we start to see how things are coming together for ourselves within a matter of months.
Gotcha. I had 2 seconds left. Everything going smoothly? Everything seems to be fine. I really should say put a like button there. I had 2 seconds left. Okay, none of that Inception stuff, so let's see what's going on. Okay, what should I go to? See, go to more Starfield. Yeah, why not? Open world games. I almost titled my second video that Starfield gets a new update from Bethesda. Fantastic news. I don't want to be taking everyone's stuff so soon, so I'll ignore that for now. Okay, let's get back in it.
It's a level of immersion that we really focus on. You're not just playing a game, but you're living in this world, in this universe.
It's a giant open world for the player to do what they want. You feel like you've had an impact in the world. You really feel like you're there.
There's certain, types of entertainment where you're just experiencing it. You're taking in what the creator wants you to see, and they draw that dotted line between this happens, go here, do this. The more that we can put you in the situation where you're going to decide. That's what makes video games the best form of entertainment that they are.
We don't just make RPGs, like we make simulations, and that leads to a lot of
Simulation
just
RPG.
crazy stuff that can happen and things you don't expect.
Yeah, we always have those big fights. Like, what if combat breaks out right now?
The image they use
right?
for
You have to
the
handle that,
Luro
right? Because it could.
is really
you
good.
can't control it. The only thing you control
He's a
is
normal
that
looking
the
dude.
game has to account for it somehow.
We embrace the chaos, let it play out, and usually it's pretty fun.
A lot of us have been doing this for a long time together, and it's nice with Starfield to go back to some things we didn't do, the backgrounds, the traits, the defining your character, all of those stats. And I think there's so many games now that do those things that people are ready for something that does a lot of the things that, older hardcore RPGs, some that we used to do, doing those again in a new way.
We've always allowed the player to, to create really interesting, unique characters. This game, we've definitely severely leveled up. The tech is based on scanning of real-world models, similar to the photogrammetry we do in our landscapes. We're kind of applying the same thing to our people as well, because it's not just the appearance of your player and all that, but we want all the personal interactions of NPCs, other characters in the game to be as impactful as possible. And for that, you have to believe these are real people. You're a real person interacting with real people.
One of the big choices is which part of the game world am I going to engage in? We always make a bunch of different groups that represent some of the major factions in every game. And in this one, we've got the United Colonies that represents the future space republic, idealized. You also have the Freestar Collective, which is the space Western fantasy, people that are out there on the frontier. We've got Ryujin Industries, which represents corporate life. I think it has one of the best starts of any of the factions we've done.
It's a megacorp, and you get hired, right? That you would do, right?
We'll play for our job. We'll
Right.
see if you cut the mustard.
Right.
Yeah, I love approaching it that way where, okay, what makes the world feel whole? What are the groups that would make it feel whole and believable? And then how does the player interact with them? What we're doing with the pirates, the Crimson Fleet as well. They're not just this foe, let the player join them. What does that mean?
The cool thing about Crimson Fleet, what if you're a good person and you want to be a good player and you don't want to play as a bad guy? You can side with the pirates or you can report back your superiors and be like basically space cop type of thing. So let you be a good person and still play with the bad guys. I think that's really cool too.
Superiors.
It seems like no matter what story we write, the one the players tell themselves is the one that they think about and love the most, and the companions.
Hello, Captain. How may I be of assistance?
So something we really, leaned into on this game, how those other characters felt about you.
That's probably my favorite part. Like when you're exploring and then your companion makes some comment off the cuff about something that you're checking out or something that just happened, it just feels so perfect for immersion. It's so believable. You think it's a real person.
So, we knew we wanted to do some kind of persuasion minigame thing.
Yeah, we sat down and it was funny. We didn't start with, let's do an evolution of, let's look back at the old Oblivion system, but there are a couple of beats there. You have to think about, what's my risk here, right? Which one do I want to choose? We didn't want it to be a system where there was definitely the right thing to say.
It feels like you're having a conversation where you're actually trying to persuade somebody of something. So it's actually, I think it's, as far as new systems in dialogue, I think it's definitely one of the most successful ones that we've had.
Yeah. I think when we knew we were making a game about space, you ask yourself certain questions, and that question is, what is out there? And so, as a game, we have romance, adventure, mystery, but I think with Starfield, there's this other layer of, the cosmos and the universe and what is out there.
At the end of it, we want the players to have told their own journey, but then look back at it and we're asking the big questions. Why are we all here? Where is it leading? And what's next for humanity?
Gotcha. Now, something I've been thinking about for a little bit is, what are those games that have complicated systems right now? My first thought was Dark Souls, but the thing about Dark Souls combat is actually pretty simple. Witcher combat is simple. What other big RPG system out there? Maybe Kingdom Come Deliverance? Well, that doesn't necessarily have a magic system. I guess it has other stuff. What other games have like really complicated? Well, none that I've played in a little while. Now let's check out that Potter. There we go. Hello, fellow. How are you doing tonight? Avalanche. Who? What games was Avalanche made? Kind of forgot.
Lumos.
Game footage is a work in progress.
What do you think you're doing here?
Hey, it's Phil Centaurs. Oh, that's just a straight up Lord of the Rings orc. No, it's not a orc. What do they call those things?
Welcome to Hogwarts.
These are
Legacy.
those survival
You're a new
games
student at the famed school
with the
of
super
witchcraft
in-depth
and wizardry,
stuff.
with a unique ability to
Do
manipulate
those count?
powerful
Like,
ancient magic
there's one
hidden in the
you
wizarding world.
actually have to
You'll need to
study,
uncover what's
understand
behind the
what
return
each
of
place
this
does.
forgotten
Oh yeah,
magic, and who is seeking to harness it to destroy wizard
E3
kind,
E3 is
as
not
you
there
may be
yet.
the one that decides the fate of the entire
Wait, that doesn't
wizarding
even.
world.
That's not even a thing this year.
But before
They're
you
lost.
can study magic and begin to solve these
And
mysteries,
Game
you
Awards
must
guys
create
gain, I
the
guess.
witch or wizard you want to be.
But yes, I guess outside of mainstream,
When you arrive at Hogwarts,
there are a
you'll
lot
be
of
sorted into one of the 4 Hogwarts
survival
houses,
games out there.
Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin. After you settle into
Hufflepuff
your dormitory,
for life,
you will meet
by the
up with
way,
your housemates in the
I
common
guess.
room. You will then need to attend classes.
Okay, it looks very
and you
pretty.
do have some catching up to do, as you were starting Hogwarts late as a 5th year.
So you are the new student.
You'll
Oh, I get
begin
to
your
make a black
studies
friend?
attending charms, defense against the dark arts, herbology, and potions classes, to name a few.
Oh, hello. Class,
Ooh, a ginger.
please welcome the newest rose in our garden.
I
Shall we
spoke about
begin?
those in my mythology video.
Welcome to year 5 of charms. Now, this will be a crucial year in your education on the art of charm work. But I am confident that we will take hold with a passion and
I
vigor
am
requisite
E3 this
of
year.
such a challenge.
The best way to practice is by dueling. We'll start with you two.
You remember when Samuel Jackson? No, wait, Samuel Jackson was Game Awards, but he did that like 10 times.
You may begin.
First couple times was actually great. Oh, we got dueling. Okay, I know the combat reminds me of. The combat reminds me of Dragon Age 3
Here you'll meet your professors and
when it
learn
comes to
cast spells,
magic.
grow magical plants, brew potions, and more.
And I guess
In
the
between
dodging
classes,
is,
you'll be
you
able
know,
to
souls.
explore the castle famous for its secrets, enchantments, and mysteries. You'll discover dungeons and secret passageways, as well as challenging puzzles.
Yay,
that
I
will
can't
require
wait- can't
magical
wait to do
skill and a
puzzles.
clever mind to solve. You may even find yourself in iconic locations you've never been able to explore before.
Yay, slaves!
It's the late 1800s, so while the common rooms and classes may be familiar, most of your professors will not be. However,
how
you may
old is this
recognize a
school?
few faces.
And is there a college?
Once Sir Patrick lets me join the Headless Hunt, I'll be right there with them. This offering is sure to win them over.
Don't forget why I'm here, sir.
You'll come to know this eclectic group of talented witches and wizards in class and while completing side assignments that are part of a special curriculum. One's designed to help you catch up with the other fifth years
Gemini
at your own
Canaan,
speed.
how's life for you?
Lumos.
Opportunities for adventure abound in the area surrounding Hogwarts. The magical abilities you learn to master through your schoolwork will soon become tested as you
How
unravel
late
a
and gay are
dangerous
you?
mystery by
Well,
working alongside the accomplished
late?
and yet enigmatic Professor
Probably
Fig to try and
about
discover if the rumors of a mounting
10
Goblin
minutes.
rebellion hold any weight.
How
and
gay are
if the
you?
safety
Well,
of Hogwarts lies in the
homosexual
balance.
is the spectrum.
Opinions differ
How
as to how
heavy
great a
you
threat
lean on that spectrum, I cannot say. Slave gameplay.
Ranrock's loyalists are capable of so much more than people realize.
The wizarding world of this era is fraught with dangers. Creatures corrupted by a magical force, powerful goblins, and sinister witches and wizards, all willing to fight, even kill, to achieve their own goals. In fact, there's an uneasy alliance between the goblins and dark wizards.
I don't know a lot about Harry Potter. Do they really need those wands to fight?
That all you needed was a distraction. I gave you a distraction.
I just watched a student.
Okay,
take
that
down a
guy,
Distraction.
his facial animations and lip syncing needs more work.
You're not telling me.
His is great.
Perhaps you shouldn't involve yourself with that just yet.
Let's go.
Slam with Descender.
Even Harry Potter's world has
Roast with
exploding
Incendio.
barrels. Though they probably have another name
Devastate your
here.
enemies using various finishes. You can even use the mysterious, powerful magic your professors do not understand.
They're
to
made for
obliterate your strongest
explosive
foes.
spells.
Mixing and matching dozens of spells will let you define your combat style.
Dark elves? That's a derogatory term.
On your path to become
Only
the
they can
ultimate
say it.
duelist.
Well, if someone uses the kill spell, you gotta use the anti-kill spell barrier.
And spells, you'll have
I
access
think
to
that's
a
how
deep
Harry
set
Potter
of
works.
upgrades, talents, and skills.
Oh,
to
it
aid
has
your progression
Gwent.
as a wizard. Complete challenges throughout the world to earn experience.
I'm not
Level
doing
up
any
your
of those
abilities by
challenges.
choosing talents to upgrade your spells, plants, and potions to increase their power. Decide which
Why does
talents
Harry
best fit your
Potter have
playstyle
stealth-
to allow you to
stealth
focus
section?
on your favorite types of magic.
I don't remember
You can
Harry Potter
also
sneaking
loot,
anywhere.
buy, or craft
You know what,
your own
actually, never
magical
mind.
gear.
They actually did sneak
will
with the
increase your offensive
literal
and defensive
invisibility
capabilities in
cloak.
combat. Gear can be upgraded and specialized to allow for greater abilities for your chosen playstyle.
Use a strong, even motion when cutting your ingredients.
You know, I just never do alchemy and craft
Spells are
being
not
mixed
the
in
only
video
tools at your
games, but
disposal in combat.
in
As
Harry
you hone
Potter,
your wand skills,
you literally
can
just have
continue
to put that
further
in.
your magical education at Hogwarts, progressing your development as a witch or wizard. Brew
Why
potions
does
that can increase your power when you
why
need
does a
boost.
lot of that reminds me of what is it? What's that?
Grow and deploy magical plants
Willy
to mock the
Wonka.
battlefield and
It
keep
reminds me
your
of Willy
enemies at
Wonka.
bay.
Willy Wonka was a wizard.
You can even unleash deadly mandrake seedlings to incapacitate unsuspecting enemies. In Beast class, you will learn about a variety of magical beasts you might encounter. both
Okay,
at
the
school
Beast
and
3
as you
better
explore
be
the world
God
surrounding
tier.
the castle and its grounds.
The goal of today is to remind
I was
all
hoping
of
they were going to say
how to
you can
maneuver on a
summon.
broomstick safely.
Learning and mastering broom flight is highly recommended.
Because it wouldn't be a third-person video game if it didn't have forced stealth that
I want you to do my herbology homework.
You're despicable.
Who started
Some
that
abilities
trend?
may be taught to you by
Because it's
students
never
who become
stopped.
your friends. As you develop relationships with these schoolmates,
Hey, we
they
even
can
have
accompany
bros
you
that
on
can
your journey
hopefully
as your
help us out.
companions.
They can help us
And over
murder
time,
adults.
You'll learn their stories.
This is our chance.
Natsai Onai is a brave adventurer driven by the justice she seeks. Poppy
Of course the
Sweeting
black
has a
girl is
kind
faster.
heart and loves magical beasts, connecting with them more
It's a
easily than
chocobo.
with humans.
But what happens now?
Unafraid of detention or breaking the rules,
Sneaking in the restricted section again!
is Sebastian Sallow, a charismatic Slytherin
We've been over this, boy. Triple cannot reverse a curse.
with a troubling family secret.
Nothing can. The sooner you accept that reality, the better.
Who's cursed?
You'll meet these students and more as you explore common rooms, hallways between classes, and regular gathering areas.
Welcome to the Room of Requirement.
One of the most remarkable secrets of Hogwarts is known as the Room of Requirement. You're introduced to this space
Here's your
that seems
requirement,
to
get
sense
some
what you
bitches.
need and then provides it for you.
I guess getting women was
Since
half
you
the
need to
plot
catch up to your peers,
of like
the
the
room
second
provides space
to
for you
last
to
Harry
sow
Potter
and
movie.
harvest plants, brew potions, and upgrade your gear. A helpful house elf named Deke helps you discover vivariums that allow you to nurture your own menagerie of magical beasts.
What is it? Deke isn't sure. Only one way to find out.
You can freely customize this space to reflect your personality
Hey, that's
and
actually
magical
really cool. We
specialties.
can create your own little house thing. I'm happy that children can learn about real estate. It's a griffin
Not
and a
everything you
dragon.
need on your journey is available at Hogwarts.
Is it like Blight where
You'll want to
dragons
visit
just
the
kind
nearby
of
wizarding
chill?
village of Hogsmeade, where loads of shops and vendors can provide you with the supplies you require. From potion ingredients and recipes, to seeds for magical plants, to all sorts of gear. But Hogsmeade also has its dangerous side. A band of dark witches and wizards, emboldened by the turmoil of the times, wander the village outskirts. You must avoid them or defeat them. As you explore, you'll find the world surrounding Hogwarts is alive with activity, wonders, and areas of unusual interest. As the school year progresses, dynamic seasons and climates will fill the sky with lightning or sunshine, or coat the ground with snow or rain. Unique wizarding hamlets pepper the countryside, each with vendors and residents who
only a
have
few
stories to
seasons
tell,
come by, right?
and missions
Like, how
with
long
which
is
they
the
could
kid gonna
use
be in
your
school?
assistance. Be on the lookout for enchanting magical puzzles that may very well have been designed by Merlin himself when he was a student at Hogwarts. Magical beasts roam the lands outside the castle walls. Some have been corrupted by a mysterious dark magic, while others are at risk of poachers and their traps. If you're feeling benevolent, you can rescue them and restore them to health in the Room of Requirement.
I feel like these monsters are
If
just
there are dangers beyond your
not ugly
understanding
enough
in the
where
world
you
as
want to
well,
kill them
dungeons
immediately,
and vaults hold perilous
but not
threats
cute
and
enough that you
also
won't want to
untold
pet.
rewards. Be careful where you choose to explore, as it may lead you down a darker path. Master spells. Befriend new allies. Journey across a landscape never seen before. Uncover ancient secrets.
Do you need a license
combat
to ride a
mystical
griffin?
threats. Learn long-forgotten mysteries. Become the witch or wizard you want to be as you leave your unique mark on the wizarding world. Here, in Hogwarts Legacy.
Holiday 2020. Alrighty. As someone that knows pretty little about Harry Potter, that seems like it's going to be a pretty good game that I get down the line. what I know about Harry Potter is just watching the movies many years ago. It was solid movies. What else? I guess I don't see J.K. Rowling's name up here. They're probably trying to hide from that because, as far as I'm aware of, J.K. Rowling is like the Lil Boozy for trans people, so I can understand that. Okay. What's another big open world game coming out? I'm gonna just type that in. What will I find? Saints Row. Actually, I keep constantly forgetting that Saints Row is a thing. Cause who really cares? I mean, the Saints Row 2 is great. 3 and 4 were fine. 5 wasn't great, and the new one just, who is that possibly for? But anyways, let's check it out. Just as a reminder, what's going on?
Is getting a boatload of open world
Oh, I completely forgot that Vin Diesel game. And how could I forget the Sonic Forces game? You know what,
We've got 20 promising upcoming games we wanted to highlight here. So let's get started off with number 20. The first game is Sonic Frontiers.
How is Sonic Frontier your 20? I should get off your video right now. You know what? I'm not even going to leave a like because of that.
Lots of talk of it being inspired by Breath of the Wild. Honestly, what I look at here is just a playground for Sonic to go really fast. That's the name of the game, right? You want to be Sonic, you want to be free to go as fast as you can, wherever you can. I think they're onto something here with the open world thing. It doesn't feel as much like it's just another game jumping on the open world trend. Here with Sonic, I think the formula can actually make sense. You're going to be exploring the Starfall Islands, and there's going to be a bunch of different
if you go as fast as Sonic, that does need to be a pretty big open world.
Lava and volcanoes, so there'll be a lot to mess with. We're just curious to see how it truly flows and how it plays. Next, over at number 19, we have and makeshift
the heck is Atomic Heart?
An incredibly unique and really spooky and horrific and unsettling setting. This is like an alternate history 1950s sci-fi. Now, next over at number 18, we have Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora.
Oh, right. One Piece Odyssey.
Avatar franchise is once again revving up its engines with James Cameron's next movie.
Are you excited for One Piece Odyssey?
Ubisoft is
as a One Piece fan,
and we're getting a new Avatar game. People dunk on the movies, whatever. I think if anything, that world can translate really well to a video game, especially with some good ideas behind it. Will it fall to the typical trappings of, you know, the Ubisoft open world?
Has there ever been a bigger movie with less cultural impact than Avatar?
Robots, I don't know. I'm in. I'm easy to please. We're cautiously optimistic. Let's see how this one goes. Now, next over at number 17, we have DokeV, which, as you may have seen the trailer before, this game
Sonic is the fastest thing alive.
Essentially, what this is a
that means he's faster than Tiger.
World action adventure monster collecting game with a little bit more of like a fun, lighthearted twist, but with a bunch of different traversal options, ways to customize yourself, a lot of social features, and playing with friends, and of course,
this game actually does look really cute.
It's funny because a lot of those elements, open world, monster collecting, all that stuff sounds pretty generic, but just with this presentation here, it really looks like unlike anything we've seen before.
And the song they have was really cute.
Pearl Abyss,
I hope this game is great.
Black Desert Online, so it's got some gameplay chops behind it to back it up, hopefully, so don't write this one off.
I guess realistically, Game Sonic is light speed to, I think, way above light speed.
This may look similar at first glance, but what it is an open world action adventure game RPG with non-linear storytelling. And frankly, like, it looks pretty sweet. Graphically, it's really impressive,
like Kingdom of...
Is
that a work?
Incredibly vast. The world looks huge. We've seen
this looks like fantasy Kingdom Avalor.
Some cool combat sprinkled in. A good trailer like that can definitely put expectations dangerously high, but given the developer publisher's pedigree, we're willing to keep an eye on this one. Next, over at number 15, we have Ark 2, the follow-up to Ark Survival Evolved, the open-world multiplayer survival sandbox with like a sci-fi
Much of this is just
twist.
making me
We're
think
getting
about
another one
how
because the original was
unfortunate
absolute
it is
monster
that
money machine.
there
It
is
had
not a
ton of mainstream
Dragon's Dogma
popularity,
2.
and this time around,
There should have been a
Vin
Dragon's
Diesel is
Dogma
on
2,
board, and we're gonna
and
get
we
more
should
of
be
an
working on
emphasis
3
some
right now.
story-type content and seemingly a bigger, crazier, more alien sci-fi feeling world. This is, of course, once again by Studio Wildcard. As of right now, we don't know too much about it, but it is slated for 2022.
Oh yeah, you got
Now, next over at number 14, we
Game
have The
Sonic
Day Before, which
and
is
like
pretty interesting and
a bunch of
ambitious mashup,
different comic
seemingly
Sonics.
with some Division-style elements where you're exploring a city, you're looting, you're occasionally encountering enemies, sometimes you're encountering player enemies, but with a big dose of the Last of Us-style desperation and survival crafting and zombies. It also looks really gorgeous, and you know, just everything we've seen from the systems to the inventory to what you're doing moment to moment, the shooting, the third-person shooting rather, the exploration, it all seems pretty
I feel
sweet.
like, at least to me, you gotta do a lot to make zombies interesting.
Right now, this open world MMO survival sandbox thing is set for June.
I mean, Sonic X has an episode where he races a car across the world, and they say Sonic hit the finish line as soon as it started to come back to screw the other guy.
State of Decay 2 and its expansions and updates.
I might look at some Sonic. No, I'm not. I remember it just hit me. I get copyright strike with anime stuff.
We definitely expect this one to have like the biggest open area. There's definitely seemingly been a winter theme teased. More monster types and zombies, of course, but also some animals affected by this.
There's also a Sonic X comic.
Really cool zombie.
I actually read a little bit of that.
Sandbox games that are fun to jump in with a friend. Hopefully here they really emphasize more exploration, just more things to do, and really exciting action. Again, though, keep in mind, at the time of making this video, we haven't seen too much of it, but we think we might see it this year. Now, next at number 12, we have Saints Row. Now, this new reboot definitely turns things on its head. If you ask me personally, I don't know where they could have went next with the Saints Row series. I've played every single one. They get crazier and crazier. So they're bringing things down to earth a little bit here, kind of ditching some of the aesthetics that a lot of
It's interesting that people wondered what would the next Saints Row game be more like 1 and 2 or 3 and 4, and they went like, nah, we're gonna do this thing.
Open world third-person action, explosions, car chases, wild weapons, customization for your characters.
Okay, now that hoverboard thing actually looked really cool.
Totally different
and another thing I would say looked cool is the
one pulls it all together. You know, like games, every single one has a weird new angle for it.
Well, you can sort of fly.
So
not literally fly, but you have like a wingsuit.
To reboot the franchise. We're really hoping that they have some cool ideas up their sleeve, and
you got
it's
jet
our job here, so we're going to be checking this game out and letting you guys know all about it once it releases.
I feel like they made a big mistake in not just going, okay,
Next over at number 11,
if
we
you
have
miss GTA
Square
games,
Enix's
we got something for you.
An ambitious new open world adventure game where you play as a regular everyday woman thrust into a fantastical new universe.
I've seen gameplay of this game, and this is just the most mediocre thing you could imagine.
In a very gorgeous looking game. It definitely
looks like combat is going to just
be the
same thing over and over again. I would ignore it.
We're still at least generally curious just because some of the concepts behind it, the people behind
the middle
the game,
traversing actually does look fun. I give it that.
There's some interesting stuff here.
Traversing
a cool story. We'll find out what the deal is for real on May 24th, 2022. Next at number 10, we have Avowed. This is the next big RPG from Obsidian.
Pretty much, Gemini.
Fallout New Vegas and the Outer Worlds, stuff like
oh,
that.
yes,
so
Avow.
It's safe to say they know how to make RPGs. That, of course, comes with
Obsidian's Skyrim game.
And they put them to work on this,
that
which
should
so
be,
far, just
that should legitimately be great.
Seen, seems like a fantasy medieval RPG style game. But
even though they showed almost nothing.
Still, at the end of the day, like we said,
and almost no news, really.
And although information is pretty light on this one, we're keeping a keen eye on it.
Yeah, Forsaken is not
Next
good.
Next over at number 9, believe it or not, is Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga.
Lego Star Wars? That's the open world game?
So long. It has been delayed. It kind of disappeared for a while, but now it's releasing finally in
I had no idea.
And it's the most ambitious Lego Star Wars game yet. If you are saying, what is this baby
is it
kid
two-player
about
though?
Legos and Star Wars? Well, it is so much more than that. Lego Star Wars is
because Lego Star Wars games are like
really good
pretty good games that you can play with like your niece, nephew, or even like
because
Mother.
it's covering the whole Skywalker saga. There's going to be
So yeah,
multiple planets
they're
to
good kids game.
explore, and it's going to be
What can I
completely
say?
open, and it also just looks great. People are hyped for this one. It's been a while since we got a Lego Star Wars game, or really just a solid Lego game. So hopefully 2022 is finally the year. Next, over at number 8, we have Gotham Knights. This is the 4-player focused Batman action game, specifically focusing on the Bat family. You know, the people that Batman raised and taught. Because in this game, apparently, Batman is dead. So it's up to this group to team up
Obsidian's
together
good.
and fight the bad guys of Gotham City, a seemingly open world Gotham City with vehicles and stuff you can engage in.
All modern Lego games are basically open world? Really?
Nature, you can apparently play
It's
this
been a
in 3D
long
straightforward
time
single player,
since
but
I
you're going to be
played
dealing with cool enemies like Mr.
Lego
Freeze
game.
and the Court of Owls. What more could you want if you're a Batman fan? You might say Batman himself, but
I might
still,
get it
the
if I,
comics have told some
you
really
know,
great stories with these
ever talk to
characters
some of
that
my
mainstream
little
audiences haven't
nephews
really
or
been
whatever.
exposed to. So hopefully Gotham Knights really blows it out of the water. Now, next over at number 7, spinning off of Batman, we have Suicide Squad. Kill the Justice
Suicide
League.
Squad.
This is the Suicide
I
Squad
generally
game
don't
from
have an
Rocksteady
interest.
Studios, the folks behind the Batman Arkham series. So they're going in a very different direction here, but it's seemingly set in the same universe as the Arkham games.
Oh, so.
And it is open world hijinks.
I think it's
as
time to
the
get Harley
Suicide
Quinn a
Squad,
break.
this new interpretation of them. And there's something wrong with the Justice League. If you're a DC Comics fan, you probably know what. But it's up to the Suicide Squad to seemingly, kill the Justice League. What we've seen implies that you're going to face off against people like Superman and the Flash and Wonder Woman, and that's pretty exciting. From a gameplay perspective, it looks like a lot of open world third-person action. And we're curious to learn more on
Arkham
this one. We
Knights
definitely
open world.
trust in
Yes, it
Rocksteady.
is.
We
It's
really
a
like
it's
their
a bit
games,
different.
But this could be a really weird, new, strange, and interesting angle for them. Now,
The
next over
gameplay
at
looks like
number
things
6,
real.
we have Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. Now, it's worth pointing out that, like a lot of games on this list, it has been
Never
delayed
played a
here and
Stalker
there, but
game.
we think we're still going to definitely see it in 2022, and we hope so, simply because the original Stalker games were great.
Okay,
They
let me get
defined
your
PC
guys'
gaming
opinion.
for a
Who
lot
would
of
win the
people,
fight?
and for those gameplay concepts and really that general vibe to kind of come to the modern
First
era
season,
of gaming,
Power
is just something
Rangers
worth celebrating. If you like
without
post-apocalyptic
morphing
anxiety and stress
versus
of like those
the
survival
Batman
style
family
games, or if you're a fan of the Metro series,
with
Stalker
just
is
basic
something that you
gear.
should definitely keep on your radar. It's a little bit different, but if it's anything like the original games, it's going to be pretty cool. Next, over at number 5, we have Dying Light 2. Stay
Yes, people
Human.
love
We
the
talked about this one
Superman but
quite a
evil
bit,
trope.
but Dying Light 2 is a bigger, badder version of the original game with a bigger
We need
world,
Superman
more
but gay.
storytelling,
Oh,
seemingly
wait.
a lot of decisions to make that will shape the world around you, an emphasis on like a even more decaying world after this zombie outbreak, where things have decayed and kind of regressed back almost to like the Middle Ages, where there's no guns, it's all melee weapons, limited technology, and it just seems like there's a lot going on here. More parkour moves, more enemy types, more tools, more options, and we're really looking forward to it, especially if it's supported as well as the original game was. That game had legs. There was a lot of stuff to play through for a long
I think that
period
game
of
actually
time.
came
It's
out.
definitely one of our most anticipated games.
I heard it
of
was
the
pretty
year,
good.
So we had to mention it. Now, next over at number 4, we have Starfield. This is Bethesda's next big RPG.
Ah, yes.
As of the time of making
I
this
just
video,
went over
we still don't know
Starfield.
too much about it other than that it is a
They really do. They I know people are a bit
RPG
annoyed they
where
haven't
you can
released
seemingly fly to
gameplay of
different
it yet,
planets or
but
explore. There is going to be
we
combat,
somewhat
there's
know
going
what
be
to expect.
RPG elements, and we're curious to see how this goes because of Bethesda behind it. Now, a lot of
Also, if
people
it's
have
like
been taking
8
issue
months
with
away, I'm
Bethesda over the
okay
last
with not
few
seeing a
years,
lot.
but putting that aside, the way we
Yes,
look
the
at it is
first
that they're
season
finally
Mighty
making
Morphin
a
Power
game that
Rangers.
isn't Fallout or Elder Scrolls. So we're curious to see what that means. How is this going to play? Is it going to feel different? Is it going to feel very much like their other games, but in space? I don't know, but personally, I want to see those questions answered. And I think it's going to be fun just to see how this pans out. Now, next over at number 3, we have Horizon Forbidden West. This is the PlayStation
That game also came out.
follow-up to Horizon Zero Dawn, which
Right
is a pretty awesome game.
right
but this one
before
seems to really blow it out of the water with crazier
Elden Ring,
graphics,
which was
more enemies,
not good
more
for it.
NPCs,
Speaking
more
of Elden Ring,
cultures,
I'm
more
guessing
towns,
that
more
is going to be
side
number
quests, crazier
Elden
moves,
Ring is
more
number
of an
2, so I can
emphasis on an
skip
ability
that.
to
What's
swim,
number 1?
glide, use a grappling hook.
Oh, I should have guessed what number 1
Characters.
was.
We can speculate all day, but if you want us to just be honest with you, I don't know. It's a new Zelda game. We really liked Breath of the Wild, and they're making another one, and we're curious to see.
I don't know if I've played a
We love Zelda,
Nintendo
so
game
yes, we're there. Day one. Hopefully it's fine.
since
releases this year.
Since maybe
Now we got some bonus games
maybe
we also
going
wanted to
all the way
include. The
back to
first is Harry
Nintendo
Potter
64
Hogwarts Legacy.
or
This
like a
might be
handheld.
2023, but
The
we
last
thought it was worth
Nintendo
highlighting
game
at least.
actually I
Also,
played
Ghostwire
was
Tokyo. It's kind of up in the air. It seems like it might have some open elements. We're not sure, but
not
we just wanted to
RAM.
drop a mention. Also, Test Drive Unlimited.
I played
Solar
it
Crown for you
on
racing game fans.
I
And
get
the
it on
next Fable
ROM.
game. Xbox has been working on it. We don't know if it's
Paper
going to release
Mario, the
this year, but we
first
wanted to
Paper
cover our
Mario,
bases just in case it is.
which
And
I
also,
say
last
is
but certainly not
the
least,
first
Sons of the
RPG
Forest, the
I
long-anticipated
ever played
follow-up
was
to the
Paper
original
Mario.
Forest.
So
But those are 20
I
open
got
world
a
games we're
heart for
looking
that
forward
game.
to playing, hopefully in 2022. So we want to hear from you guys in the comments if you got your own list. If you got your own top 5 open world games you're looking
Isn't the
forward to
whole
or anything
thing
like that, be sure to drop it in the
about
comments. We want to know what
Bethesda
you're
that
interested
they
in so
finally
we
had
can
to
cater it to
kill
new videos.
the
But if you
Mora
enjoyed this
engine?
video and maybe learned about a game, click the like
Essentially,
button's all you got to do.
I mean,
It really
same
helps us
engine,
out.
just
And if you're
upgraded,
new,
but yeah,
consider
pretty much.
subscribing, maybe hitting that notification bell because we put out new videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Let's look at that One Piece game. One Piece Odyssey. Again, I should say.
Peggy 12.
Oh yes, even though I think it's somewhat inconsistent, Power Rangers do have their superhuman abilities, unmorphed. In fact, like some even have just flat out super speed and like force-like powers. So yeah, but Bat Family will still have gadgets and armor. Honestly, I'm expecting with the Starfield for them to put their best foot forward on that one. Hopefully it's not very buggy, but even then, I can handle some bugs if it's not gameplay hurting. Shouldn't we be seeing Gear Luffy, where he turns into a monster or some such? This is a very, very fast trailer. I wonder if there's anybody out there that's like, oh, that's why they call them straw hats, because they wear straw hats. What about just RPGs? Top new RPGs of all time. Oh yeah, they can't just flat out say they took that Unreal Engine and upgraded it to fit their needs. Because that's literally what they did. Which, to be fair, that's what most gaming companies do. Like, there's almost rarely new engines. One Piece, they call it One Piece World Seeker Part 2, 2.5. Yeah, I don't know. Games tend to do that. I mean, specifically Bandai, when they just have new versions, but different, better, but they don't call it a sequel. Though it's almost odd that that is not called a sequel when it looks like that also has a new story. Anything noteworthy here?
Last month we got some tactical titles as well as more action-packed games such as our #1 Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. This month, however, we have some CRPG entries, a remaster of a classic JRPG, as well as some retro-inspired games with a challenging twist. Let's get into the month of April 2022.
I don't go that retro, honestly, with games. What else can we find? Is there any gaming news that I should be aware of? The Witcher 4. Oh yes, there's The Witcher 4. If they call it The Witcher 4. Probably not, honestly. RPGs 2022. How about that? No, sorry, 2023. I should probably say, because we're not late into the year, but still. Hmm. So 10 realistic survival games. I usually can't play those for too long. Top 10 new upcoming JRPGs in 2002. You know what? What are the new goofy-ass JRPGs coming out?
It looks like 2022 is going to be another great year for new Japanese RPGs. While some games are still in flux.
Okay. You know, speaking of games, and I guess not in flux, but a game I haven't
On whether or not that
seen
they're
in
going to
a
be
while
released this year, in this
is
video, I want to take
the
a look at 10
Sudoku
of
game.
the upcoming JRPGs on PlayStation 4 and 5
And
coming up later this year. Now,
was
those
it the
games that are a
108
bit in
Stars of
flux,
Destiny
titles such as
thing?
Digimon Survive, Final Fantasy 16,
Oh yeah, I'm looking for
Outside
Digimon
Shot, they
Survive.
hit us in 2022. However, I'm not going to be mentioning those games in this list. I would rather go with games that, at this point, they are confirmed for 2022. You guys know how the world works. Sometimes we get delays, sometimes XYZ happens and things get pushed
when
back.
Digimon
So
Survive
just
actually
keep
be
that
out.
in mind. But without further ado, let's get right into it, and let's
It
start things
probably
off with
should
a
be
couple of
early.
Square Enix
I'm
games
thinking
right
on
off the top.
Digimon Survive
Valkyrie
early
is back
next
with
year.
Valkyrie Elysium. This is one that there were a lot of rumblings of with some trademarks and whatnot, but now we know that Valkyrie is coming back in the form of an action RPG with Valkyrie Elysium. This game is looking pretty good. While I wouldn't say it's absolutely blow away from a technical standpoint, I really like the art style, and on the official Square Enix page, it notes, the new game presents an original story set in a world that teeters on the brink of destruction. You play as a Valkyrie who is entrusted with the fate of this world by the All-Father, the highest among gods and the ruler of all creation.
I
Descending to
never
the
played a
land below,
Valkyrie
you must battle
profile
powerful
game.
foes and uncover the secrets
I
behind the
played
impending ruin. To take
Valkyrie
on the many
Chronicles.
dangers of the world, you'll engage in fast-paced combat, and I have to say that the combat looks flashy, it looks fun, and it's got a pretty epic soundtrack by the looks of it when you do listen to the trailer and watch the trailer, so have high hopes for Valkyrie Elysium. It is scheduled for a release later in 2022. Another Square Enix JRPG that recently got announced, that is the Diofield Chronicle, a real-time strategy RPG that a lot of people initially, when we saw this trailer, were thinking, is this Final Fantasy Tactics? No, it's not Final Fantasy Tactics, it's a brand new IP, and the Diofield Chronicle does look pretty interesting. It notes an all-new simulation RPG brought to you by Square Enix, combining our skill and experience in crafting great stories with real-time strategic elements. We have created a simulation RPG that may look familiar at glance, but provides something never seen before. The game offers a truly unique experience from both its story and its gameplay. It's a simulation RPG from Square Enix that notes deep, strategic, real-time battles and realistic diorama-style battle scenes as well. Another game from a visual style, I like the look. The soundtrack on this one also sounds pretty awesome, and that's kind of to be expected with Square Enix JRPGs, but we'll see how this brand new IP in Diofield Chronicle turns out when it drops in 2022, and it'll be hitting just about every platform, PS5,
By the way,
PS4,
can you guys,
Xbox One, Series X and S, it'll be coming to Nintendo Switch, it'll be coming to PC, so you won't have a shortage of platforms to play the game on. Next up, here's one that was a little bit surprising when it was announced, but
just
hell,
so
I'm all
nailed
on board,
in
and that is
editing that I
Atlus's
can
Soul
always
Hackers 2. Yes, Soul Hackers is back. 25 years have passed since the release of Devil Summoner Soul Hackers, which amassed a cult following by meshing a distinct science fiction style into the universe of SMT.
Like Devil Savior?
The game notes, inheriting the essence of the Devil Summoner series and Soul Hackers, the title returns after remaining dormant for a quarter
didn't you
of a
guys
century
watch
with an elevated,
WrestleMania?
evolved concept chronicling a new tale of humans and technology. The protagonist Ringo, an agent of Aeon, must join forces with the Devil Summoners to stop the world's end. There's a lot of mechanics, and there's going to be a lot of elements that are going to be similar to those of you that have played SMT titles in the past. Deepen your bond with your friends through interactions at the bar or in the hideout, and at times by retracing the past memories of summoners through vision quests. Visually, the game looks really solid, liking the art style, obviously leaning heavily on more of an anime look, but the game looks great, and hopefully with this release, we won't have to wait another quarter century before Soul Hackers as an IP is utilized.
The monster design for this game is like a mix between Persona and
It'll be
Dragon.
coming August 26th, and it'll be on PS5,
Dragon's
PS4,
Quest.
Xbox One Series, and PC. Next up, if you guys follow this channel regularly, you know how big of a fan I am of Legend of Heroes, and finally, we're getting work done
I
on
know
the
you can hear
franchise
me
being
breathing
rounded
that
out
now.
over here in the States with the release of the Legend of Heroes
I mean,
Tales
generally in
from Zero.
videos.
Obviously, the game from a visual standpoint, given that this game was initially like a
I
PSP
generally actually
game,
try
it's
to
not
take
blow
out
away
the
by any
hard
means, but
breathing
Legend of Heroes
when
has
I'm
never
editing.
relied on flashy visuals. No, it relied on excellent world building, a great cast of characters, and a great narrative as well, and expect that tenfold with Trails from Zero. Experience Crossbell in this exciting chapter from the renowned Legend of Heroes series, the site of an ongoing territorial struggle. After 3 years away from his hometown, Lloyd Bannings returns in order to follow his late brother's footsteps and join the Crossbell Police Department. A lot goes on in these games, and if you want to understand the full story, yes, it is quite the investment. There are a lot of games to play. I usually just recommend people to jump into Trails from Cold Steel. I know a lot of people will say, you know, play the games in different orders, but some of these games have just not been readily accessible to us, so it's going to be nice to finally have Trails from Zero over here in the States, and hopefully it just shows more investment from Legend of Heroes as a franchise over here in the States as well. The game is scheduled for a release on September 27th. Next up, we have Metal Max Xeno Reborn. Metal Max Xeno Reborn is an action JRPG with a real-time battle and vehicle
See if I
combat
go
mode.
best see
Turns out as a
something
lone
new.
hunter and search for allies.
Chrono Cross?
Would have liked to see a remaster upgrade of that. For now, you're going to get the Radical Dreamers edition of Chrono Cross, and this comes with a bevy of updates.
I've played one Star Ocean game. I think it was
but we're talking a 5 or 6 out of
Star
10. Star
Ocean
Ocean: The
till the
Divine
end of
Force, on the
time.
other hand, is shaping up to be
It
a
was
pretty
pretty
solid
generic.
entry. Developed by Triace, Star Ocean: The Divine Force will transport players to an
Mentally,
expansive
I
sci-fi
mixed
fantasy
it up
world to
with
take them on an exhilarating
Infinite
journey with
Undiscovery.
fast-paced action combat, rich exploration, and an original story. With Star Ocean
This looks
celebrating
cool.
its 25th anniversary this year, the Divine Force builds on that rich history with new features that are sure to
There
delight
was one
for many
game,
years to come.
one of
You've
those
got super
games where
high-speed
it's
action battles, no
literally,
random encounters. Players will seamlessly enter
it's
battles with
literally the
enemies
meme
that
where
populate the world. Players can float in the air,
literally
dive at
fight
enemies, and
God.
fly around areas. Richer exploration, climbing towering mountains, venture into dark, vast valleys, and investigate the castles and towns present in the world. Looks like there's going to be a sizable amount of content with different environments, with a lot of variety to explore, and hopefully a gripping narrative ties everything together. Star Ocean: The Divine Force is scheduled for a release on PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, PC, and at this point, it is scheduled for a 2022 release. Hopefully we hear about it
That girl looks
more
cute.
soon. But Square Enix, a lot of titles lined up from them as far as JRPGs that aren't Final Fantasy, because you look at Valkyrie Elysium, Diofield Chronicles, Star Ocean: The Divine Force, and if you want to count it, Chrono Cross: The Radical Dreamers Edition, a lot of quality stuff coming from them. But lastly, I do want to note Made in Abyss, a binary star falling into darkness.
By the way,
Yeah,
why
a mouthful
haven't
of a
we
title,
seen
but
any
hell, we've
new
gotten Star
stuff
Ocean
from
Integrity and Faithlessness, as I
Final
mentioned in the past.
Fantasy
Made in Abyss,
16?
obviously incredibly popular from a manga and anime standpoint, but now it's getting a 3D action RPG. Made in Abyss, binary star falling into darkness. The player descends into the world of the Abyss and grows through their experience in its depths. The player can relive the experience of the anime in story mode, as well as explore an original story supervised by the series author Akihito Tsukushi. Fans are sure to enjoy the dark fantasy elements that remain true to the unique flavor of the original work. Many characters from Made in Abyss appear as well, and event scenes are fully voiced by the cast from the anime. So if you're a fan of the anime, it might be something worth checking out as well. Let's hope that turns out pretty well. And it is coming from Spike Chunsoft, so all the best there. Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PC. And that's gonna do it for me. Again, we have a bevy of JRPGs dropping this year, and again,
Okay, I'm familiar with like two those
I
guy
would imagine
mentioned.
that more games are gonna be announced and they'll release in 2022. So maybe in the halfway point of the year, we'll see how things turn out and we'll do an updated video on this. But that's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching and goodbye. Hey guys, we
Sonic. Was it Frontier? There still is no demo. Is that for what, by the way? Is it bad that whenever I see Sonic, that Game Grumps guy going, "Gotta go fast," is the first thing that comes to mind? I'm liking the Kingdom Hearts music. So we actually see less than I remember. There's a demo out for Final Fantasy 16. Let me check. So it says the tech demo from 8 years ago looks better. Yes. Well, actually, there was a recent Yes, Aaron, formerly known as Eagle Raptor. What are the games that are out right now or coming out? Digimon Survive, that's one I'm looking forward to. Ratchet and Clank has been out. Honestly, I came out here just for Starfield and Harry Potter. But what else? What else? I'm just going to type in gaming news. Let's go to the Gaming Leaks website. Oh no, I can't. I don't want to give out my Reddit name. Okay, gaming news. Okay, the monthly PlayStation Plus is pretty mid. Oh right, April Fools was 2 days ago, so much of gaming news was a lie. Two new games announced. Well, I guess we are board games. Who can afford a VR? Any of you kids getting a VR for Christmas? Let me see. Let's try this random site. Warhammer, Vikings Valhalla, podcast, whatever. Oh, well, I mentioned Final Fantasy 16. You know what? Actually, we mentioned Elder Scrolls. Anything new from the online? Why you need to log into Scrolls right now? Isn't there a new cinematic? Oh yeah, this one's about Britons. I know a guy that stands the Britons pretty hard. Their history is some B-tier Game of Thrones stuff. I mean, you got like MMO cinematics. They put their budget into it. And so would have, because they look the most human. And I'm guessing that's one of the variations of the Vestige, maybe? I don't know a lot about animation, but I know that clothes and cloth are some hard stuffy enemies, so that's pretty good. It is interesting how human wood elves look, but male high elves just flat out look like yellow goblins. That was very Nord of him. Night guy. I can sell that gold. To the right fence. Legacy of the Bretons. High Isle. You can also buy this goat. I'm debating whether or not I should make the next stream about me just going through Elder Scrolls lore. Either that or maybe like I eventually do need to do that Digimon waifu tier list, because I said it would. And I don't like to lie. Roblox. It is interesting how that came back into style. Is there any news on Dragon's Dogma? Dragons. Nothing at all, really. That is to be expected. You know what? I'm going to end it with the video that I watched first to test this stream out. And it's a video that I watched probably dozens of times when I was probably in like high school. And that's Sephiroth versus Genesis versus Angel. There are too many waifus in Digimon. Honestly, the tier list that I saw, there may have literally been 50, so I might want to find some kind of workaround when I do eventually get to it. Let's end the night with Sephi.
Infinite in mystery.
Thank goodness this is not an anime, so I don't have to worry about getting copyrighted.
We seek it thus, and take to the sky. Ripples form.
Unless
on the water's surface.
Yes, his music should be okay.
Wandering soul
Actually,
knows no rest.
Loveless, Act 1.
You remembered.
How can I not, when you've beaten it into my head?
Don't take Sephiroth lightly. Noted.
This was pretty darn impressive for a PSP game.
Is that the best you can do?
I watched it in much better quality earlier, but you know,
Sephiroth.
this might be more nostalgic.
And Jill, stay back. I'll take Sephiroth alone.
Of what I gather, fans do not like
The world needs a new hero.
Genesis, since he fits the actual literal definitions
So
of
smug.
a Gary suit.
But for how long?
It's nice to see Final Fantasy characters actually use magic.
You'll destroy us all.
That's no way to talk to a hero.
It's quiet. Oh, Genesis took too long. His theme music kicked in. The butt rock is no more.
Enough!
And Jill.
Out of my way!
Genesis!
Did he hurt himself from breaking the sword?
Just a scrape. I'll be fine. Don't worry.
The video's pausing? Okay, that's something that I actually remember to keep an eye out for.
Even if the morrow is barren of promises,
Again, it's a test.
nothing shall forestall my return.
That actually is something that I noticed when I was just normally recording. That videos, particularly fast-paced videos, would sometimes pause early until eventually smoothing out. It's probably something that I have to work on or edit in the framing for this. But for now, I have to say good night. Thank you all for coming. This went about as a little bit better than I thought it was going to be, especially for this time. Enjoy. Hope y'all had a nice WrestleMania. Good night. And I'm happy that I did not accidentally show off porn Because I was legitimately afraid for that. That's like showing linking porn was like my #1 fear when I was doing this.